This is the best crowd. You know this town. You were here. We shot Alita here. Hey, I had a great memory, huh? Hey.
You, I love being on the set, and I loved all your questions about Starship Troopers then, and your passion for films is just intoxicating.
Thanks, brother. I was always asking him questions about the making of Starship Troopers. So I'm going to ask you some of these well-rehearsed ones because I asked you while we were filming together. In fact, every time my kids and I, who showed up again because they love this movie so much, we're going to watch it, I would text you and say, we're watching Starship Troopers again. There's a 4K version out now. Every version that would come out. And I know people always just coming up to you about that movie. There's a scene where you ride a big tanker bug. Can you tell us about that? I always wanted to hear. That's one question I didn't ask you before.
Yeah, well, I have a couple stories about that. I had, it was an upside down hull of a boat and I had to ride it. It was 25 feet up in the air. It was, up on a Caterpillar truck on a gimbal. So it was moving side to side and around and forward and in circles. And they had wires attached to them. They said, listen, we put the wires attached to you so if you fall, you only fall 5 feet and you don't get run over or break your neck falling down, or both. And I was like, oh, perfect, yeah. And they said, no, so we're handing you this loaded weapon. It's got full ammo. Don't land on the ammo when you fall, if you do fall. So the very first take, I fell, and the wire pulled me down, and I was thinking in my head, don't fall, so I put the gun above my head, and I chipped two front teeth and one tooth on the bottom. Right, my nose so hard. They asked me a question and I answered some other answer, and then they said, are you ready to go another? And I went up and I did it again. I'm like, mental note, don't land on face next time. And so I got caught again by the wire. It pulled me down again, and I cracked 3 ribs. And one shot out my mouth. It hit the camera guy, and he goes, I didn't know you had one of the pellets with the blood capsules in it. And I said, I didn't.
Wow, I did not know that. I'm surprised I didn't ask that question. You wouldn't think there'd be, but from experience, there's nothing that makes a stunt go wrong more than telling somebody just before they shoot to adjust something they're not used to doing. They'll always, because it's the thing that's going through their mind so much that it happens.
You do think about it, but I had to ride it for 3.5 days, 14 hours a day. Yeah.
Well, you look great now. There's 2 really great classic actors. We've seen them over and over again. I mean, we just had a screening of Highlander with Clancy Brown as the Kurgan, and he plays Lieutenant Zim here. And then we've got one of my favorites, Michael Ironside, who plays Ratchak. Something quick about those 2 guys, working with those guys.
Oh my God. So first of all, they're very intimidating. You meet them, and they're very intimidating. They're like their characters, but they're both just these big, lovable bears of men. Just incredible. And I loved working with both of them. Michael Ironside, he was in Highlander too, but he's also in Scanners, and he's just been around, and he's in, he's just an incredible actor. I still hear his voice in my head all the time, and that's not just because he calls me and we see each other at cons, but just because he was so inspirational during the filmmaking of that. He took me under his wing, and he would just tell me, he goes, don't do that, get over here, listen to this, and I still hear him all the time in my head.
Wow, that's amazing. He's got the best voice. You'll hear him just the way he says your name, Rico. He says it like he'll say Rico. One last thing before we go get on with the movie. First, thanks for being here. We've had movies that sometimes they hit right away. They go to the people know. In fact, when I made Sin City, I thought no one would go, but I knew they would discover it later. But it actually was a hit. That was a hit, I tell you it wasn't. This was one of those that's almost better in a way when a movie doesn't hit right away and people find out about it later, and it just builds and builds and builds. Look how many fucking people are here for the They could have all gone home. It's a Sunday night. They just saw RoboCop. They could have got their money's worth with that. But they're here because they love that movie, which I'm sure they're surprised it didn't do bonker business at the time. What do you think about being a part of something that just grows to where people almost love it even more than if it had been a hit initially?
Well, I'm so grateful that you all get it and you understand. I'm shocked when people didn't get it at first, because I read the book, and read the script and I went, oh my God, this satire, the sense of humor, the sick perverseness that it is, dark black humor that is Paul Verhoeven and Ed Neumeier is brilliant. And I said, oh, come on, guys, this is so over the top. And they're like, no, this is, trust me, this is subtle. I'm like, oh, there's nothing subtle about this movie. There's nothing subtle about the movie. But when the movie got missed, when people didn't get it at first, I had to go back to Paul Verhoeven and Ed Neumeier and go, you're right. It's subtle. And I don't have to anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to anymore.
Now, and it's got great legs, and it seems to be more popular than ever. I do voiceover for 2 video games. I play the video game online with people. I have the best time. I do quotes from it. People yell at me all the time, and just everywhere I go, they're like, where do you go? What are you doing here? And I'm like, welcome to the Roughnecks. Where you go, Roughnecks?
Speaking of yelling, you yell a certain catchphrase, and I think it would be a good thing to end on before we watch the movie. You want to tell us, because people are going to lose their minds when they hear you not just say it, but you earn it by a certain point of this picture. Here we go. John, here we go.
Come on, all you imps! You want to live forever?
Thank you. Let's go watch the movie. Johnny's going to watch it